Captain Marcus Rivera stared at the assignment notice on his console, blinking twice to make sure he'd read it correctly. An alien assistant had been assigned to his research vessel. The Horizon's Edge, the Galactic Council's new integration program, was still in its infancy, and Marcus had volunteered his ship as a testing ground for interspecies cooperation. The docking bay's atmospheric processors hummed as the transport shuttle sealed against the airlock. Marcus straightened his uniform and walked toward the bay, unsure what to expect. The Council had provided minimal information about his new assistant, only that she was from the Vellani species and had been deemed suitable for human interaction. The airlock cycled open with a soft hiss, and Marcus felt his breath catch. The being that stepped through was unlike anything he had encountered in his 15 years of deep space exploration. She stood barely 5 feet tall, with crystalline blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the artificial light. Her eyes were large and opalescent, reflecting emotions in subtle color shifts. 4 delicate arms moved with fluid grace, and her entire presence radiated an otherworldly elegance. "I am Lyra," she said, her voice melodic and soft. "I have been assigned as your research assistant." Marcus noticed how she kept her gaze lowered, her posture submissive. The briefing materials had mentioned that Vellani society was hierarchical, with strict protocols governing interactions between different castes. Lyra's subdued manner suggested she expected to be treated as little more than a servant. "Welcome aboard, Lyra," Marcus replied warmly. "I'm Captain Rivera, but please call me Marcus. Would you like me to show you to your quarters?" Her eyes flickered with surprise, the opalescent surface shifting from pale blue to a warmer amber. "You wish me to use your personal name?" "Of course. We're going to be working closely together for the next 6 months. Formality would just get in the way." Marcus led her through the ship's corridors, pointing out important areas and introducing her to the crew. At each encounter, he noticed how other species aboard the vessel treated Lyra with casual dismissal or outright disdain. The Corps engineer barely acknowledged her presence, while the Vexian navigator made disparaging comments about lesser species when he thought she couldn't hear. When they reached her assigned quarters, Marcus frowned. The space was little, more than a storage closet with a basic sleeping mat and minimal amenities. He'd seen better accommodations for cargo drones. "This won't do," he muttered, then turned to Lyra. "These quarters are unacceptable. You'll take the guest suite on deck." 7. "Captain Rivera, I cannot," Lyra stammered, her skin shifting to a nervous purple hue. "The regulations specify that assistants are to be housed in service quarters. I would not want to cause trouble for you with the Council." Marcus waved dismissively. "Let me worry about the Council. You're not just an assistant, Lyra. You're a member of this crew, and every crew member deserves proper accommodations." Over the following weeks, Marcus made it his mission to ensure Lyra was treated with dignity and respect. He insisted she join the senior staff meetings, valuing her insights on xenobiology and cultural analysis. Her knowledge proved invaluable. As they encountered new phenomena in the unexplored Kepler Nebula, when the ship's chef prepared meals without considering Vellani dietary requirements, Marcus personally researched her species' nutritional needs and worked with the food processors to create suitable alternatives. He noticed how Lyra's skin would shimmer with golden hues whenever he went out of his way to accommodate her comfort. The real test came during their encounter with the Hegemony patrol fleet. 3 massive warships surrounded the Horizon's Edge, demanding to board and inspect the vessel. The Hegemony had a reputation for enslaving inferior species, and Marcus knew Lyra would be in immediate danger if they discovered her aboard. "Hide in the emergency pod bay," Marcus ordered as the crew prepared for boarding. "I'll handle this." "Captain," Lyra said quietly, her 4 hands trembling. "If they find me, please do not risk your crew for my sake. I am only an assistant." Marcus turned to face her, his expression fierce. "You are not only anything, Lyra. You're brilliant, you're kind, and you've become one of my most trusted advisors. I would risk everything to protect any member of my crew, and that includes you." The hegemony boarding party stormed through. The ship with typical arrogance, led by Commander Voss, a hulking reptilian with scarred hide and cold yellow eyes. They ransacked quarters and interrogated crew members, clearly searching for something specific. "We have reports of a Vellani aboard." "This vessel," Voss hissed at Marcus. "They are valuable slaves. Turn her over, and we'll consider not impounding your ship." "There are no slaves on my vessel," Marcus replied steadily, "and I don't recognize your authority to make demands in neutral space." Voss struck Marcus across the face with enough force to send him staggering. "Humans think they're so noble. We'll find her ourselves." The search continued for hours, with the hegemony forces growing more violent and destructive. They were methodically working their way toward the emergency pod bay when Lyra made her decision. She emerged from hiding, walking calmly toward the bridge where Vos was threatening Marcus and the senior staff. "I am the one you seek," she announced, her skin now a resolute silver color. Marcus started forward. "Lyra, no." But before anyone could react, something extraordinary happened. Lyra's skin began to emit a brilliant light, and her opalescent eyes blazed with inner fire. The temperature around her dropped noticeably, and ice crystals began forming on nearby surfaces. "I am Lyra of the 7th House, daughter of the Crystal Throne," she declared, her voice now carrying harmonics that resonated through the ship's hull. "And you will not harm these humans." Voss stumbled backward, his weapon forgotten. "Impossible. You're just a servant caste Vellani." "The servant caste was a fiction," Lyra replied, advancing slowly. "I am a princess of my people, sent to study humanity and report on their worthiness as galactic citizens." The hegemony soldiers fled in terror as Lyra's power continued to manifest. Voss cursed and retreated to his ships, which departed immediately. Only then did Lyra allow her transformation to fade, revealing her exhaustion. Marcus caught her as she swayed. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because," she whispered, her skin showing faint rainbow hues, "I needed to see how humans treat those they believe to be beneath them. In 6 months, you never once made me feel lesser. You treated me not as a servant, not even as an equal, but as someone precious." "You are precious," Marcus said simply. Lyra's final report to the Vellani Council was brief but decisive. Humanity had passed their test with honors. The alliance that followed would reshape the galaxy, built on a foundation of mutual respect and dignity. And it all began because one human captain chose to treat an alien assistant like royalty.